So we'll start by finding a really comfortable seat. So that could be tucking something behind you, if that feels good. That could be sitting up nice and tall. It could be laying down on a bed if that is what feels more comfortable. That's fine. It could be, that you wiggle around a little bit. And that we put a little bit of movement into our wrists and hands, opening and closing, or interlocking the fingers to get the wrists moving a little bit. This might be a place where you hear pops and clicks, which is fine and normal as long as there's no pain. You might open and close the fingers, or if you're looking for a dexterity challenge, touching each finger to the thumbs and back, and just noticing how you feel today. And that might be great. It might be different from yesterday. It's all welcome. We're just noticing. And then I'll invite you to get into the elbows and the shoulders and just kind of, you can open and close or do some circles or stretch really big and wide. However feels good to you. Sometimes putting the hands on the shoulders and making some big circles, that can feel really nice. But just leaning into the arms, the upper back, and then coming into the neck. So however that might look, you might look down and look up to give your neck some movement in this direction. We'll do that a few times. You might look right and left to give your neck some twisting motion if that feels good in your body. You might do some gentle head circles in one direction and the other direction. Just taking your time. There's no rush and there's no one right or wrong way to do this. So, and then we'll move a little bit into the hips. So maybe doing some very gentle hip circles. The farther you lean back, or the bigger you make the circle, the more you make your abs work. So you decide what feels good and what feels stable in your body today. And then maybe taking it the other direction, just again, nice and gentle and slow. There's no rush. You're right where you need to be. You can leave the outside world just for a little while. They can handle themselves while we're focusing on ourselves. And then we'll come into a nice tall seat. If there are other movements that would feel good, maybe some marching or pointing and flexing the toes, maybe bending and unbending the knees, or maybe you're fine. Maybe you're like, you know what, I've done enough movement. I'm ready to relax. Whatever it is, figure out what would feel good to you. And then when you're ready, you can close your eyes, or you can lower your gaze, make your eyes go a little fuzzy. And then we'll start feeling for the breath. And so the breath is always with us, and it is often in the background, but let's bring it to the foreground. We'll start with 5 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose where you can, and then counting backwards. Okay, that's 5. And then in through the nose and out through the nose. Nice, slow, long breaths, whatever feels good in your body. And then coming back, that's 4. And then on like this, in through the nose and out through the nose, letting that be number 3. And then in through the nose, out through the nose, number 2. And then one more big breath. And if you'd like to let out with a sigh, a big feel free to make it audible. Feel free to make it big. And then just see where the breath naturally rests. So we've just kind of elongated and stretched out and made the breath big, and then see where does it feel? Where does it sit? Does it sit in your chest today? Does it sit in the belly today? Does the breath feel like it wants to be deep and big? Does it feel like it wants to be a little smaller and more shallow? It's fine. There's no right or wrong. And then feel the breath in the back. So breathing into the upper lungs, breathing into the kidneys, like the low back area, and feel the whole rib cage expand on the inhale and contract on the exhale any amount. This don't have to be like huge big breaths, but just noticing that the rib cage expands and contracts. The intercostal muscles work to allow the air into the lungs and out of the lungs. And then give a moment of appreciation for your lungs and heart. They are working in tandem 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take all of that glorious, wonderful oxygen out of the air and circulate it through your blood to every single cell in your body. And how lovely is that? We don't have to ask them to do that. We don't have to remind them to do that. They do that naturally and automatically. How lovely. If you have another intention, gratitude is a lovely intention, and gratitude can be the intention. But if you have another intention, send it out into the universe. Let the universe help conspire to make it so. And then just allow yourself to be. You do not need to get caught up in the how of what we're doing. You do not have to ask yourself, am I doing this right or am I doing this wrong? You have showed up. You are here. You are doing it correctly. There is no right or wrong way. We do not have to stress about where to sit. We do not have to stress about how to sit. Are you comfortable? Then you're doing it correctly. We don't have to stress about what cushion to use or, what my outside vibe is of where I'm meditating. That's all nice and lovely and well and good, but it's actually the least important thing. We can sit wherever we sit. We can be in whatever room. We can be on a bed, on a chair, on the floor, whatever works. We do not have to worry about clearing the mind. The thoughts come because that's what the mind does. The mind thinks. That's okay. Thanks, mind, for bringing me all of these lovely thoughts. You can have some gratitude for the mind doing its work. But a good meditation doesn't mean that the mind doesn't think. Having thoughts is normal. Take a breath. Focusing our attention and just gently bringing the mind back when it wanders. That's exactly right. That's perfect. When we find ourselves distracted, that is the mindfulness. We've gone, oh, I'm distracted, or oh, there's a thought. It's okay. We do not need to judge ourselves. Thank the thoughts for being there. Thank them for giving you this opportunity to refocus. And then come back to the breath. Again and again and again. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. Focus on what's beneath you. What can you feel? Maybe your clothing or the chair or the ground beneath your feet. And then see if you can relax your body any further. Just really taking time to allow relaxation to wash over you. filling your feet. Let the feet feel heavy and loose and relaxed. Relaxing your ankles, your lower legs, to your knees. Let the relaxation continue into your upper legs. Let the muscles there completely go. Let yourself feel heavy and relaxed. Nothing to do, nowhere to be. You're exactly where you're meant to be right now. Relaxing your hips, your pelvis, all of the surrounding muscles. Slowly letting your stomach and your lower back relax. Let the muscles give up their hold. And then feel the relaxation come up into your chest, into your back, into your side body. Let yourself feel really relaxed and really heavy. And then bring the attention to the hands, the fingertips, relaxing all the way from the fingers to the wrists. Feeling your lower arms relaxing and letting go. Relaxing your elbows and your upper arms. Let them feel loose and heavy, exactly in the right place. Letting the shoulders be relaxed. Let them lower slightly. Let them be comfortable, free from tension. And let the muscles in your neck relax. Letting go, relaxing your face and your head. Feel your entire body relaxing even more deeply. Limp, heavy, comfortable. And if there's anything you can do, any mindful adjustments to make yourself more comfortable, go ahead and allow those. Total stillness is not required. You can adjust if you need to. And then turn your attention inward, even more deeply inside. Where is that authentic self? Taking your time to find it. And then maybe acknowledging your values. What's important to you in life? What do you value? Where does your sense of right and wrong come from? Spend the next few moments thinking about your value system. These values make up part of the core of who you are. And when we are true to our values, when we take the time to ask the question, is this for me? Does this align with my core beliefs? Letting that drive our behavior, we feel good, we feel better. It feels great to behave in a way that's consistent with our values. So if you said, for example, honesty is something that you value, then we'll look for opportunities to be truthful. If a value is family, then we can reflect on how can we spend more time with family members. So just take a moment to marry this idea of values with this idea of gratitude and thanking the values for showing up. And then thinking of one small step of how we can incorporate these values into day-to-day life, gently, slowly, without pushing or forcing or demanding, just organically leaning into how we want to show up. And then considering what makes us who we are. Living this authentic life involves asking ourselves questions and learning about what we prioritize. We only have so much time in the day. Is your authentic self the real you, this person you're meant to be? This person is free. Nothing can hold you back. So imagine what it feels like, this person who lives your values, who shows up every day, who feels great, the best version of you. Maybe you imagine that you're watching yourself, observing yourself, going about your usual activities, getting up, going about your day, seeing yourself from a third-person perspective. This version of you that doesn't give in to self-doubt, that is confident and self-assured. And then come back to the breath. Come back to that feeling of gratitude, of ease. And when you're ready, you can put a little bit of gentle movement into your hands and feet, into your shoulders and hips. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thanks for practicing with me today.
Thanks, Gina.